Foxhole in, I guess, right?
Well,
or that was the Foxhole one.
That was the Foxhole one. But
This Amateur Radio Roundtable is brought to you in part by ICOM America. All right, well, welcome to Amateur Radio Roundtable. I'm Tom Medlin, W5KUB, and boy, have we got a lineup for you guys tonight. We got all the big guys on here, man. And I was told just in the last couple minutes tonight is hat night. I had to go break my hat out, so maybe I'll switch a couple hats here, but tonight's hat night. And you might have noticed during the music pre-show, we were doing a lot of different camera shots. Well, Skype finally made me upgrade Skype to the new version, and it's totally different. Pictures, and thanks to Josh, I learned how to change some pictures around, so that's really cool. Hey, just want to let everybody know out there, first of all, we're on WBCQ, International Shortwave Station, WBCQ, out of Monticello, Maine, on 5130. If you're listening out there tonight and you have internet, you can join us at w5kub.com, w5kub.com. If you're out there listening, send us an email, let us know where you are, give us a signal report, join us. You can send that email to Tom at w5kub. Let's see what's going on. Okay. I lost my train of thought. I thought the music was still going. See, that's what I get for reading the chat room there. Somebody said turn the music on.
I do that all the time.
Yeah, so, hey, you guys just really messed me up here. So, hey, what I wanted to tell you was, hey, people have been asking for audio podcasts. So we actually started audio podcasts. We've been doing video for about 17 years now and never did the audio. And there seems to be people that are looking for it. So we're actually having an audio podcast out there. You can hear this show and other things we do on most of the podcast carriers like iTunes and Google Play and all those, whatever you call your podcast program you got, we should be in there. Just look for Amateur Radio Roundtable, and we should be there, and you can listen to us. We're getting downloads already. A lot of people are starting to download it, so I'm really excited about that. Let's see. I need to tell you something else. I don't know what it is. It'll come up during the show tonight. It'll come up. Let's go around it. Let's go around the show here real quick. Let's see what we got going here. I'm gonna try to. I got extra buttons to flip tonight. I only had like 23 buttons to flip. Now I've got 62 to flip. So y'all bear with me. Bear with me. Okay. Look at that. There's Katie. Katie, what are you wearing here, Katie?
I am wearing my warm Fargo hat because we're talking about Winter Field Day tonight. So I thought, Chip and I dressed the part tonight.
Well, that's cool. You look as snug as a bug in a rug right now.
I am. It's very soft and warm.
Yeah, I've got.
As someone said on the chat room, I look like the Nook of the North. So
the Nook of the North. All right. Well, I'm excited, Katie, about what we got going tonight. We got Chip on here, and we've got Bill Brown on here, and man, it's going to be a great show tonight.
It is, and Josh and Jason are back too, so it's pretty awesome.
And Katie, you're gonna be down at Hamcation. Kathy and I'll be there in a couple weeks. Yep. We'll see you there. All right. Hey,
I
Josh.
won't be bringing this hat though.
No, I'm not either. I'll take a hat, but not that kind of hat. Hey, let's jump over to Josh real quick. Josh, what do you got going, man?
Oh, well, we're streaming again 7 p.m. this Friday. That's Pacific Standard Time. And I've done a couple of videos on the FT2DR, the Yaesu FT2DR. They came out with a firmware upgrade for this that allows it to function as a Wires X node. Well, I got my hands on the secret ingredient, which was the SCU 39 cable kit that is available. And you've got to plug all this into a computer and then go register for wires. You got to go on a website, sign up. You got to provide a bunch of information. Social security number, last paycheck. Stuff like that to get wires numbers, and then you can actually connect to wires via the FT2DR and use it as a node. So pretty handy. We'll be walking through that on Friday. So yeah.
All right. Well, by the time you got to the end of what you're going to say, I figured out how to get you full screen. Well, look, hey, everybody, tune in with Josh on Friday, and if you're into that stuff, Josh is really going to give you a lot of information about WiresX, and I've been following you on Facebook, and gee, I'm lost.
Well, you'll have a lot of fun, at least if I screw up, which that's almost part of the fun as well when I screw something up.
Yeah.
I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Well,
You just keep going with the flow, and that's part of the joy of doing live videos too. Is just if you're not doing something that's some professionally posted, created thing that you're spending gazillion dollars on, then people expect you to see you as you are, which is real, which means sometimes you trip over your words or you forget what you're talking about, or you have too many buttons to play with and you can't remember what you're doing, Tom. No.
Hey, Josh.
yeah.
Josh, at what point, how many cables did you have to plug in before that FT2DR ceased to be a handheld?
One.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Really, that's kind of the interesting concept with this is if you wanted the same capability, you have to go basically buy an HRI 200, and then I can't think of the other one, but another wires radio to be able to use wires at home without a repeater. And they are basically giving the capability to do it with just this radio. It's interesting. We'll try it out and see how it goes.
They allowing you to do that with any of the mobile units yet?
That I haven't seen. I was waiting for like the FTM 400, something like that,
Yeah.
that had a mic separated. Because once you get all the cables connected on this side, you can't really talk on it.
Right.
One of the modes they support is a connection cable to like a headset or a standalone mic. You can't do that with this.
Well,
I've got the FT1
Same right.
and I've got the
That's it.
FTM 100 and I've got the newer FT70R and the new 7250.
Yeah, the
so-
FTM 100 and the HRI combo. That's the wires one, right? That's what lets you get
Right.
wires.
Yeah, and I've actually done a couple of videos on that with hooking my HRI 200 to the FT 100, so it works pretty well as far as the simplex node goes. But it's cool that they've released the software to do it inside the radio, which, quite frankly, I think they should have done a long time ago. But well, shoot, you're gonna talk me into buying that. I had to go out and buy that high top last week, Josh, because of
you did?
yeah, I got it yesterday.
yeah.
Do you like it?
Stay here.
I haven't had a chance to play with it yet. I opened it up and looked at it. It looks really cool, but I haven't put it together yet. So
Right on.
it's yeah, had to do that. So I guess I have to get a Yaesu now.
So,
oh man.
so I want to, hey, I want to know who picked hat night tonight. Normally, I don't wear hats. who I think
started off where Chip and I were going to do this with
Yeah.
our winter hats. But
I think it was
Josh
you and
usually
Chip.
wears his, and Jason usually has his on anyway. So
Yeah, I always
Well,
have
yeah.
that on.
you were
Jason
the only one
always.
without one because Bill's wearing one too. So that's why it was complete peer pressure. We told you to put your hat on tonight.
All right. Well, Jason, you got anything coming up here? Just hey, you going out to L.A. here to Last Man Standing, aren't you, next week?
Yeah, a week from today, I'll be flying out in the morning, and we'll go to the set sometime that afternoon, and we'll watch. I think they're filming that evening or something, and during their dinner break is when they let us operate HF from the station there. So I'll be participating in that, and then we're staying overnight. And on Wednesday, there's nobody from the show from the studio there's nobody from the show in the studio. So John out there, he said that I could come into the studio and film an episode of my show. So I'm planning on doing that. That ought to be fun. Might get a chance to use their 7610 a little bit on my own. So that'll be cool.
So when we were out there, it was a no-no. They put this police tape around the stages after they get ready, for the real show, and nobody can go behind a police tape. But John gave me permission to go behind a police tape, so I went everywhere back there. And then another guy didn't know I had permission, and I got yelled at. So be careful, man. Be careful.
Yeah.
And
We'll be
hey,
doing
while
some,
you're out
yeah,
there,
so that'll be. I'll be filming. I'll be taking on my camera stuff, obviously, and filming that and putting up a video. Somebody said in the chat, do a video on that, and I'm already planning on doing that. This coming weekend, we will be operating Winter Field Day also. So I hope to hear some of you guys on the air. We'll be operating for about an hour and a half north of my QTH in Montague County, Texas, and we'll be operating under the call sign of KN5TR, Kilo November 5 Tango Romeo. So if you guys hear us out there, be sure and say hello.
all right, we'll do it. And hey, let's move on real quick just to say hello, and we'll come back to Chip. But now, Chip, let's go to Chip for a second. And how you doing, Chip? And I like your hat.
Oh, well, thanks very much, and good evening to everybody. Yeah, well, we're getting in the mood for Winter Field Day. It's coming up here this coming weekend, and so I figured I better get into training here because we're expecting a high temperature on Saturday of 25 degrees, and on Sunday for takedown a high temperature of 22 degrees. So I figure I better get all organized and stuff with the right equipment.
Well, look, I'm going to let Katie introduce you in just a minute. But first, I've got a little video here. There may be some people that have never seen this before. I'm going to put a little video on here and just let everybody see this. And I want everybody out there, everybody to watch this video really close now and see if you can tell what's going on here. Oh, let me find the video. Oh, boy. Okay. This is embarrassing.
That's what you're trying to remember.
This is embarrassing here, really. I've got to pull this up. Hang on. I mean, Skype. I'm looking at all the different camera shots.
Blame it on Skype. It's not your fault.
Yeah, remote.
You knew your system. You knew all your system, and then they've changed on you. It's
okay,
not the other way around.
Here it is. Here
Right.
it is. Here it is
Yeah.
right here. Here it is. Now, guys, I want to explain something. YouTube is bad about copyright infringement, and so I'm getting around to copyright infringement. I'm doing picture-in-picture here. So I want you to watch the picture-in-picture and watch it very closely. Here we go. Right now. Here we go.
This is a you reaction.
When I say
here we go.
ready, set, go, when I say go, flip over your card and send the message to your partner at the other desk, okay? Ready, set, go! Yell out as soon as you have the message and then read me the message. You can hear the Morse code? Can you hear it going on?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Very exciting. Let's see who is faster.
All right, so the Morse code beat the teenager texting. So I just want to ask Chip real quick. Let me find my camera shot again. Chip, were you confident that you were going to win that when you sat down here on that show?
Well, that's an interesting question. On the one hand, we knew that they were toast.
Yeah.
But you haven't lived until...
I don't know that.
Oh, shut up, Alexa. Haven't lived until you hear the theme song from a network television show, knowing that you're going to be in front of that camera. And it wasn't the people in the audience making all kinds of noise. It wasn't the band beating on the drums and everything. It wasn't even the notion of 11 million people watching at home. The thing that was scary was this was the 13th of May, a Friday, and if Friday the 13th did bug me, but the following weekend was Dayton Hamvention. And if I screw this up, you can just shoot me now. There was no showing my face on the floor at Dayton. So that was the scary part.
Well, Chip, you're a pretty good CW operator. I've got one more little video I'm going to show here. It kind of reminds me back in my novice days, you were going quite fast, but back then we used to have what we call chirps. Now here's Chip again. I want you guys to watch what Chip does. This guy, he gets into everything. Watch this. All right, all right. So that ought to be enough of that. Now, so Chip, you had a little chirp there. I have to say this. It was a chirpy signal.
Yeah, well, that was all on one breath.
I noticed you were getting out of breath there a little bit. I could tell you had to take a breath. All right, hey, that's enough fun. I just want everybody out there in the chat room to check that out there. Katie, we didn't properly introduce Chip, so I want you to try to back up a little bit and introduce Chip real quick and tell us who he is, okay? Katie? Oh, let's see.
Katie's muted.
Katie?
Oh, well, darn it. I'm sorry. I muted myself. I don't want to make noise at inappropriate times or when I was asking Dwayne a question.
Well,
So-
well, I won't get into it. Never mind. Never mind.
Well, I was trying to tell him that Glenn in the chat room was saying that Dwayne needed a hat also so that we could, have a pair. I said, actually, I am wearing his hat. So anyway, tonight I'm really happy to have my very close friend Chip Margelli, K7JA, joining us here on the show tonight. And I could go through the litany of things that are on Chip's, ham radio resume. But as you know, one of the things he's very famous for, of course, was being on the Jay Leno Show. And, of course, we all got a chance to see a little bit of that, and it was a lot of fun. And in case you didn't pick up on it, the message that was sent was, I just saved a bunch of money on my car insurance, if I'm correct. Is that right? All right, thank you. And I have known Chip for, about 11, 12 years now, and having been working at the ARRL at the time, and he was working for Yesu at the time. So just like in this industry, you get to meet up with a lot of your fellow friends when you're at all of these different ham fests and conventions. And a lot of times you just end up becoming close friends because you get to see each other. And Chip and Janet and Dwayne and I have actually developed quite a close friendship, and so much so that we actually all traveled to Scotland together for a couple weeks a few years ago. And they've been here a few times. We've been to their house a few times. Had Thanksgiving on the beach with Chip and Gordo one year. That was a lot of fun. And Chip brings so much to the ham radio community and is an unbelievable contester and CW operator. And he is like the king of field day, right along with my husband, whose life motto is there's nothing more important than field day. And so, of course, this weekend is winter field day. And it's something that I've never participated in because, quite honestly, it's just too damn cold here. But in the more balmy temperature of Southern California, Chip will be out there with his parka and his Nanook hat on tonight or this weekend. But I thought it'd be fun to bring on, because I don't think we've talked about Winter Field Day on here before. And any of you guys that might be on some of the email reflectors like the contesting.com, and there's been a lot of discussion about Winter Field Day and different modes that are available and stuff. And I just thought, let's find out more about it, because for anybody who might be interested in just getting on the air this weekend and playing, and you're going to hear something that you haven't heard before, it'd be good to find out what it's all about. And it's never too late to find somebody local to participate in or just get into it on your own. So Chip is here tonight to talk to us a little bit about Winter Field Day, what he and his team are going to be doing, and what they hope to accomplish. So with that, take it away, Chipperoony.
Well, thank you very much, my dear, and again, good evening to everybody. And I've never done Winter Field Day myself. This is the first time for me, and I'm a field day junkie. I get roped into almost everything on field day, including the year that somebody in our group wanted me to make the satellite contact, at which point I built an EME array and worked W5UN off the moon using Oscar Zero.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a fun contact. But anyway, yeah, Winter Field Day is a very different sort of experience. And I kind of like the concept, because as much as we complain about the weather in June, whether it's too hot or it's too cold or mosquitoes or flood and pestilence or what, the end of June is actually a pretty safe time to try to set up in the field. Well, Mother Nature or the bad guys or whatever might throw a curveball at us. Disasters don't happen when the weather is hunky-dory.
Right.
And so to have an event in the dead of winter, at the end of January, has a certain appeal to it. Now, it may have a lot more appeal in Southern California than it does in Southern South Dakota, but it's definitely an interesting concept, and I think that it's something worthy of checking out. Winter Field Day is actually not an ARRL event. It's a separate, completely independent entity, the Winter Field Day Association, and their website is www.winterfieldday.com. And they had just came up with this idea back in 2006. I think the first one was held in 2007. It's held the last weekend of January every year. So this year it will be the 26th and 27th of January, Saturday, Sunday. The local time hours are actually the same as the June Field Day. That is 2 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. to 11 a.m. Saturday, Sunday Pacific Time. It's 1 hour offset on UTC because of daylight saving time in the summer. So it goes 1900 Zulu to 1900 Zulu Saturday, Sunday. 24-hour event, and it's going to be a lot of fun, I think. There are 3 categories. One is called the indoor category, and that's not a home station. That's a separate category. Indoor is some sort of a remote, insulated, weather-protected structure like a cabin, a senior center, a park building, or something like that, where ham radio normally doesn't exist. The home station is just that. It's somebody sitting in their home who decided they didn't want to freeze their fanny and go out into the field. And then the outdoor category is, as you might imagine, someplace that is at least partly or fully exposed to the elements, no previous station or antennas, something like being under a canopy or a tent or a pop-up, something like that. A boat, an RV, or a camper is considered indoor for this competition. Oh. And so if you're, you can imagine it's cold. There are going to be a lot of people in tents and things like that, freezing their backsides. So I can really say with great confidence that anybody that just wants to help out a lot of people and put a smile on their face could get on between those hours this weekend and give a call. The activity is going to be around the bottom end of the general class phone bands, and then typically 030 to 050 on CW, and then the typical digital frequencies. I will state for everybody's information, FT8 is not allowed, not because the committee doesn't like it, but because FT8 is not supported by, doesn't support the Winter Field Day exchange, which is a little different from the June Field Day. The Winter Field Day, if you got 2 transmitters and you're indoor, you would say to Italy or to India or to indoor, and then your ARRL section, West Central Florida, Nevada, Los Angeles. Or if you're outdoor, you might be 6 Oscar for outdoor, Santa Clara Valley or something like that. But the FT8 does not support that protocol. JS9 call does. And the committee has said if you want to try a JS9 call and use that instead, that's just fine with them. But they just, they don't want people sending one thing on field day and then making it up and kind of forging their log. That's just not the intent. Never mind that FT8 probably isn't the first mode you go to in a disaster to try to pass traffic. Right. So anyway, I think it's going to be real interesting. Our club, the Orange County Amateur Radio Club here in Southern California, will be using the call Whiskey 6 Zulu Echo, and we'll be on all the HF bands, down to 160, and we'll be on VHF and UHF and satellite, and we'll have digital stations going, and we're going to be running six transmitters ourselves, and we're looking forward to a good time. But I like the concept. Again, having something where things aren't exactly hunky-dory in the weather department really, I think, gives clubs and groups a chance for a lot of self inspection, if you will, about how ready really are we. If you do it in June and you're doing a chili cook-off, and that's about the most extensive preparation you have to have is for the chili cook-off or escape from the deleterious effects thereof. But in the dead of winter, yeah, you're going to really see what your club's made of, and is your generator really up to the cold? Can your, and well, there are all kinds of crazy things that you don't think about in the middle of the summer, like can your CW operators send CW when they're wearing gloves?
Right.
So it's a great concept, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun for everybody. And we're looking forward to it, and I hope we'll see everybody. I'm going to be on 20 phone. They finally let me have a fun band, so I'll be primarily on 20 phones. So
Hey,
we'll be
Chip,
looking for anybody to call. Yeah.
You mentioned you're going to have like 6 rigs going. Are they all going to be running like 100 watts, or are you going to run any amps? Or?
Oh, no amplifiers, 100 watts. The ARRL field day in June, the upper power limit for the power multiplier is 150, and this one is 100 watts. So everybody will be doing that, running barefoot.
So do you get enough? Do you get enough distance between your antennas out there that you can usually operate most bands, or do y'all use some type filters or something?
Okay. All kinds of filters. I'm using a low band systems triplexer. Going to come down. I've got a little 2-element high gain tri-bander, or TH2, on one nice U.S. tower aluminum 31-foot towers. And we're coming down with one coax from there to the triplexer, which is the triplexer plus the bandpass filters. And then we split out to 3 stations, one each on 20, 15, and 10. And with the combination of the triplexer and the bandpass filters, the port-to-port isolation is somewhere between 105 and 120 dB. You do not know that the other guys are on the air.
Wow.
Well, cool. Well, hey, let's ask Josh and Jason. Are you guys going to be out at field day? You going to work, Chip?
I know Jason is. I'll let him go first.
Okay.
Did you already say?
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to say that anybody who thinks winter or regular field day is pleasant weather hasn't operated field day in Texas. So, I'll just put that out there. Okay. Because there's a couple of clubs that do field day in Texas and here in North Texas from their EOC. That's nice and pleasant, but the club that I participate with, W5HRC, they do it from in a park. So we go out to a park and we actually set up and whatnot. So it's fun. But yeah, we'll be doing winter field day unsanctioned with a club. Really, well, we kind of have our own. It's a club call sign, but it's like there's like 6 of us. So we'll be operating mostly phone and some digital, maybe some PSK or JT65, or I'm not sure what he's going to, maybe RTTY. I don't remember what he's, the digital guy. I don't remember what mode he's going to do right now, but we'll be operating field day, mostly phone under KN5TR. And I've never done winter field day either. This will be my first time.
I went to one I went to one here a few years ago down to Olive Branch, Mississippi, and we had a major storm. We got like 10 inches of rain in about 2 hours. Nice. And when I got down there, the guys were on top of the picnic tables trying to hold the equipment down. Water was coming in sideways, and I couldn't even get to the place because ducks were swimming across the road. That's how bad it was down here, man.
Wow.
and Chip, look at Chip, your hat does not go with your shirt now. I mean,
I suppose I should have mentioned that 25 degrees for Saturday winter field day is Celsius.
Celsius, yeah.
I was going to say, yeah, you're out in California. Yeah. How about you, Josh? What are your plans?
Well, I'm hell bent to get my actual workbench in order, so I cleared this weekend for ham radio work to get done in the garage to get all my electronics testing equipment out there. So hopefully I'll make some big progress there. Also, I am in Southern California as well, in Cerritos, and I would have to go up to my dad's in Big Bear if I wanted a significant drop in temperature. So I'm probably going to pass on this one, but next year I'm thinking about doing something like I like to do soda, and I know a couple of my friends actually are doing soda this year. They're going to go camp out. So they're going to go out hiking somewhere, pack everything with them, and camp the night, which I would love to do. It takes me back to being a Boy Scout in the winter.
Well, you're most welcome to come down and check out our site. We're down at the southern end of Springdale, and if you go to w6zuluecho.org, you can see get information. So you're very welcome to come down and check us out.
I'm typing that in right now. Springdale, I know exactly where that is.
Well, Chip.
Chip.
Yeah,
So
go ahead, Katie.
How many people in your? So if you've got 6 transmitters going, do you plan on running the entire time? And how many people in your club are going to be there to make it happen?
How many people are going to be there? Probably 5.
Wow. Okay.
No.
So,
probably
Katie,
have,
excuse me, guys, I need to break in. We're getting a request from the chat room. They'd like Katie to take her hat off.
What?
You need to take your
Are they
hat
getting-
off.
Okay.
Oh man.
We're going to have probably 25 people there helping with antennas and everything like that. And what was your other question, Katie?
Oh, how many? Oh, now I forgot. Never mind.
I have a question.
Okay,
Oh,
go ahead.
We're going to set up a tent. Usually, my neighbor is a ham, also WB4 VHF, which is an appropriate call sign for some contesting like that. And it usually gets below freezing here in Alabama, which we're not used to. So we really need to find where Katie and Chip got their hats, because I think we're going to need it for Winter Field Day this year.
All right.
Well, I got
guys,
mine in Anchorage. There's a little shop there that sells hats that are made from recovered roadkill. I didn't want some little fuzzball to be sacrificed just so I could have warm ears. So I found this place that does roadkill hats, and this came from Anchorage, actually.
All right. Hey, guys,
We got ours in Fargo from Shields, and the brand is called Mad Bomber, and it's actually pretty popular. But if you have a Shields in your area, I'm sure, or like a Bass Pro Shop, which is now combined with that other place,
Cabela's.
Cabela's, I bet
Yeah.
you could find some.
Hey guys, we're just a little disorganized tonight. I want everybody to know that was Bill Brown, WB8ELK, that's jumped in here with us. He was going to be our next segment, but he's also part of our remote group here. And I was just going to say we probably ought to go ahead and move into that in a minute, and we're going to talk about pico balloons in a minute. But Chip, thank you so much for coming on here tonight. You've been on here several times in the past, and we need to have you on more often. So,
Well, thanks very much. It's my pleasure. And I just remembered Katie's other question is, are we going to be going full time all night and everything? And the answer is yes, but our rate per hour of contacts will be very much improved if the folks that are watching tonight will get on and tell their buddies that there are people all around the country that need contacts and get on. So we got to keep us going, keep us warm in the chair, because it's going to be cool at night. So the ability of the folks not to go face down on the desk will be very much improved by having people get on the air and working all these hardworking winter field day groups throughout the country.
That's great. Well Chip K7JA, or I was going to say Jerusalem Artichoke, as he usually hollers at us when we get on the air.
That's right.
We appreciate you joining us tonight. It was a lot of fun, as always. And good luck this weekend in Winter Field Day, and stay warm.
All right. All right, 73, Chip. Chip, you're welcome to stay on Skype the rest of the show, or if you've got to go, go. I know Bill on here hadn't had dinner yet, so he's going to probably want to hurry and get off here. But
I'll sit tight and watch the chat.
Okay, all right, very good. Check the chat out and answer questions. I know people are very interested in seeing and talking to you there. 73, we'll see you later.
Thank you.
All right. So, guys, I'm starting to get the hang out a little bit of how the new Skype's working. I'm not totally happy with it, but I'm making a little progress. I've had 30 minutes of training. Okay, so everybody just stand by a second. Stand by a second. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. Attention all hams. ICOM knows that ham clubs play a big role in bringing ham communities together to learn from their peers and industry leaders. As a way to give back and to help you on this mission, ICOM has launched a promotion exclusively for ham radio clubs and HamFest that they're involved with. By registering your club, you could also win ICOM swag, a Skype presentation, or for your Hamfest, an ICOM booth set up at your ham club. Register now today for your chance to win. Go to www.icomamerica.com/hams.
Talking.
All right, we're back. We're back. Let's see. Hey, now, boy, hey, there's some exciting stuff fixing to come up now. Boy, I tell you. Guys, I want to introduce you to, let me bring it up here. I only have to press 3 or 4 buttons, maybe 5. I want you guys to meet Bill Brown, WB8ELK. Now, let me see. I'm going to take Katie off. Everybody's looking at Katie. Let me take Katie off. There we go. All right, we got Bill on here. Guys, Bill is the godfather of balloon launches. He is the the master of high altitude balloon projects. He started launching balloons about 30 years ago. I think he's got about 500 launches under his belt now. We're talking, going into stratosphere, 100,000 feet, maybe even more. I mean, hey, I was reading here, his first launch was like in 1987. He sent up a TV camera, transmitted it back, a little 50 milliwatt TV camera, and they could watch the picture, for like 250 miles, I believe. That was a pretty big payload then, probably 10 or 12 pounds. Back then, we didn't have the internet, so we did things much differently back then. But Bill is down in Huntsville, Alabama, and he does these balloon launches all the time. I think he works for NASA now down there. Well, we maybe get into that in a minute. But he does all these balloon launches, and we're going to talk about, I don't know what we're going to talk about today, but we're going to talk a little about all the neat things you didn't know, I guess, about balloon launches. I had a lot of questions when I talked to him the other day. So we're going to talk about that. And one of the exciting things, and I'm going to tell you guys now, kind of throw it in here, I've talked Bill into, he's going to work with us to help us launch a balloon for the show. Amateur Radio Roundtable is going to put a balloon up. We probably won't do this until about the end of February, but that's only 3 weeks away. And our hope is that it stays up 1 year, and only hope is it'll go around the Earth about 30 or 40 times. Now, you never know, it could come down in one day, and Bill's going to tell us all about that. But it's an exciting thing. Bill, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, and I just wanted to say it's a real privilege to be here during Hat Night.
Yeah. Well, since you and everybody else had hats, I had to go get my hat tonight. Normally, I don't wear one because I spend so much time in the green room with makeup and getting the hair right, but I put my hat on tonight.
Well, now we've been doing balloons since 31 years now, and I launched it on my birthday, actually. So people put a note on a balloon and let it go for their birthday, and they see where it came down. I wanted to actually track it. But our first balloon launches were a little thing called APRS, did not exist. So we had to use the old-fashioned techniques of using direction finding equipment. And it was a great fox hunting event because you would go out and track the balloon by triangulating the signal. And so we got the local fox hunt group involved, and they thought it was great because whenever I launched a balloon, they had an instant fox hunt. I used to work as the editor of 73 magazine many years ago, and we launched one from Peterborough, New Hampshire, and I have my chase team tracking that. It was a little 2-meter beacon sending Morse code, and the Morse code would vary with altitude. It would tell the pressure. So it was a crude way of measuring altitude. Well, it ended up my chase crew radioed me on the repeater, and they said, good news and bad news. Good news is we know where it has come down. The bad news is we're all lined up along the edge of Boston Harbor with our antennas pointing out to sea. So I kind of figured we weren't going to get that one back. But a few minutes later, maybe a half hour later, this guy called me because I had a backup recovery system on my payload. It's called a reward sign. And he said, is this Bill? Yeah. I found something of yours that parachuted down next to my boat in Boston Harbor near the lighthouse. And I pulled it out of the water, and it started to beep at me. And I threw it right back in because I thought it was a bomb. So, but then he saw the reward sign and said, well, I'll risk it. And he brought it back. I got it back. And I don't know if you've seen what salt water can do to electronics. But half the board was a nice, beautiful green color. But I cleaned it up, and it actually still works.
No.
So you still have it?
I still have it, and it wasn't in the ocean more than 45 seconds, so only part of the payload was eaten. But ever since then, we've done all kinds of flights, varying from a 400-pound rocket that we launched from a large balloon that took 33 tanks of helium. We had to go out in the Gulf of Mexico because they would not let us launch it over land. Now, I personally think a rocket stuck in the middle of Cinderella's castle at Disney World would be a nice improvement, but they didn't like that. So we had to go 200 miles out in the Gulf of Mexico to fly that one, but 400 pounds. But
400.
typically we fly under 12 pounds because that's the FAA regulations. If you're under 12 pounds, you can fly 2 6-pound payloads, 12 1-pound payloads, as long as they aren't lead weights. Put some styrofoam around them, you can fly this kind of stuff. And it's legal to do. They determined that that was a weight that would be acceptable if an airplane, in the unlikely event that an airplane would strike it. And so you don't need to get permission from the FAA, but if you're within a few miles of a controlled large airport, you do have to call the tower and get approval for that. So I've done a lot of those kind of camera payloads. You've all seen photographs and videos taken of various toy trains and various characters from the edge of space. You're above 99% of the atmosphere, and you see the blackness of Earth and the curvature of the Earth. And the reason I came up with this in the first place, I was really interested in amateur television, and on UHF and VHF, as you know, antenna height is everything. So I decided, how about a 100,000 foot tall antenna? That would get out pretty well. So I researched weather balloons. I miniaturized a TV transmitter. I found the world's smallest black and white TV camera that weighed 8 ounces and was about 6 inches long and had a tube in it. But it produced spectacular views of the edge of space. I watched a documentary of Joe Kinninger parachuting down in the 60s from 102,000 feet. And then later the Red Bull Stratus fellow, Felix Baumgartner, jumped out. And I wanted to see those views myself, but I didn't want to risk my life by going into the stratosphere myself. So I came up with this remote video system using ham radio. And it worked fantastic. And nowadays, you see these launches all the time posted on YouTube. Colleges fly these as part of their engineering programs all over the country and the world. So I wanted to talk about the big balloons first, but then I'm going to tell you, I've gone to the other extreme from 400-pound rockets. I have now been going to something called a pico balloon. And the pico balloon is where you fly on an actual party balloon. We do a science camp in Indiana for Spaceport, Indiana, every summer. We do a few of those. And one of the students, we always fly one of the big latex weather balloons with all kinds of experiments. We once flew crickets, fishing crickets, because there was an internet rumor that crickets could hold their breath for 2 hours. Now, as you all know, everything you read on the internet is true, right? Well.
So did you send a cricket up?
We figured, well, if the crickets don't survive, it won't be too bad because they're destined to go in the belly of a fish anyway. So we went ahead and flew them, and they came down, and they all survived. So in that case, the internet rumor was true.
Did they
So
did they get
they'll
cold?
fly.
Let me ask you. Did they get cold up there? That could have been leaving a little worse. What's the temperature up there?
Minus 60,
Gee.
and they were exposed to a near vacuum of minus 60, and they survived.
They sound like roaches
So-
to me.
They're now living in my friend's yard in Indiana.
Oh,
They jumped out. They were very unhappy, but they were very happy to be back on the ground.
Wow.
So we once flew a banana into the edge of space. A nice, beautiful yellow banana, slightly green. When it came back, it was brown and mushy like it had been in somebody's refrigerator for a year. We do fun experiments like that for the kids, but they learn about ham radio because they track it on APRS on their smartphones. Once you get them hooked to the smartphones can watch ham radio activity, now you have them hooked into amateur radio. So I've been using this high altitude balloons as a tool to generate new ham radio operators from the youth of America, and we do these events at schools for STEM classes and any other class from elementary, middle school, high school, and college. And that's why I developed this Sky Tracker. It's a half-ounce APRS payload, completely all-in-one. It's got the GPS on it, and a little Arduino-style microcontroller, a little synthesizer for the transmitter. It puts out a whopping 25 milliwatts of power. I use guitar string for the antenna wires. And you wouldn't think that 25 milliwatts would compete with people running 10 or 20 watts or more on APRS. But it's such a short burst, and at altitude you can see 200 to 300 miles in all directions. It compares. I rarely get a dropout once it's up about 1,000 feet or more.
So
And
there's a
it's
picture.
very
I've got a
small-
picture up of your Sky Tracker right there.
Okay, there you go. And there's one I'm building right now.
Let me come back to you there. So, okay,
that's a
tell us a
cool
little more
design.
about that and the weight of that, because this is going to be lifted with a party balloon now. This doesn't take much to lift, right?
That's right. This weighs a whopping 12 grams. It's got looks like a little mini satellite, weather satellite. And this is the Whisper version. I have an APRS version on 2 meters, and that white square is the GPS receiver. That little chip is the GPS antenna. There's the processor, and then that's the synthesizer. It's a little clock synthesizer that I put an output filter on, and I get a beautiful signal on 20 meters or 2 meters. I had one on the air. Actually, this one was on the air all day on my vertical outside. 20 milliwatts. Actually, this one's 10. I'm testing it at 10 milliwatts. 10 milliwatts on 20-meter whisper mode. WSPR. And Tom, if you've got that website on,
I'm going to try to
you can
bring it
show
up.
who all picked up.
I think this is the right site. Let me check and see. Oh, that's the wrong. That's a close up of your mustache. Just a minute here. Let's see.
Back away from the camera
That's right.
slowly.
Okay. I know where that camera is now. So, am I on the right page here for you?
And if you zoom in on it, you can see all the stations across the United States. There you go. That's a good view. That's the last 24 hours from a 10 milliwatt whisper transmitter hooked to a vertical antenna outside. And as you can see, it's got a little bit better coverage than APRS would on 2 meters. So I've been using whisper pico balloons. Basically, do you have a picture of one of the party balloons on that PowerPoint, Tom, that you can show?
I do. Let me bring it up here. Let's see. Well,
Well, there's
There was
that
one there.
second
Let me.
picture
There's a
shows-
better picture down here. I'm just not familiar with. There's.
Yeah, there
there's
you go.
one.
That's the type of balloon that we're talking about, and that can go completely around the world.
So that balloon
it
there with
flies
what maybe a
30,000
cubic foot of hydrogen or helium can stay up a year maybe, if it's the right altitude.
Those stay up about upwards of a month, 2 weeks to 4 weeks, because those are called microfoil. They're made by Qualitex.
Okay.
They're standard party balloons. They're about $3 or $4 a piece.
Okay.
And I put a cubic foot of either helium or hydrogen into it, and tie on my Sky Tracker. Now I don't have to power it up. It's totally solar powered. There's no batteries. I have a half farad super cap on the back, which helps for low light levels when the sun gets low. It's a one-hand launch. You carry one of these little tiny tanks of helium that you can get at Dollar General or Walmart, and you can go into a classroom and fly these with all the kids around, and they can track it on their smartphone. One of my first test flights went across the Atlantic Ocean in the same amount of time that Lindbergh did. It took 31 hours.
Huh.
And it actually followed the same track.
Yeah, it looks
because
like it
showed
did.
up in France, just
Yeah.
about 100 miles from where Lindbergh
Yeah.
flew across. And this stayed up for a week. It was a very low flying flight because it was heavier when I was first developing them. The lighter weight you make them, the higher they can go in one of these party balloons. It
So
ended
this
up
one-
hitting an ice storm off the coast of Stockholm, Sweden, and came down.
So Ice
off
Storm
the
got
shore
it,
of
and it
Stockholm.
was this one was flying at about 27,000 feet.
This is about 26, 27,000.
And that actually gets into the area where you can get storms, right? So if you're lucky and you don't
Right.
have storms, it'll keep going.
Right.
So-
Crossing the Atlantic Ocean is like the intergalactic barrier on Star Trek. It's rough to get across because when you're flying at lower altitudes. So,
this is Chip. I've got a quick question.
yeah, sure.
When you load hydrogen into that balloon, do you have a hot air balloon backup system in case you need it to get a little more altitude?
No, the hydrogen will go higher than the helium, actually. It'll give you another 2,000 or 3,000 feet altitude, which makes a big difference because you can avoid storms that way.
Not
So,
that in the history
Now,
of air.
there's a little bigger balloon that I've been using. It's made by Scientific Balloon Solutions. Ron Meadows, K6RPT, and his son Lee. They're out of San Jose, and they had an interesting flight. You can actually get a regular weather balloon to float in at about 120,000 feet if you fly like a 5-ounce payload and put very little lift into it. And they got it to float for about 2 days. And they launched it from San Jose. This is a big weather balloon now. And it ended up in Morocco and landed near some date farms. And they had enough signal from it that they knew probably within a couple miles where it landed.
Hey,
A
here's
friend
sorry.
that lived in Casablanca drove out there with some people who knew the language, asked the date farmers if anybody had seen, and they showed a picture of the payload, and it says, yes, we just found this. Then they took about 2 hours to negotiate payment because in Morocco, possession is 100% of ownership.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And I never did learn the price that they agreed upon, but it took hours of sending a note across the street and back again to the people who had the payload in their hands to the people who wanted it. But that was such an interesting story that he developed this bigger balloon that is made out of actually sushi wrap.
That's what this is the
Size of
sushi wrap.
a
This is
large tray.
now. This is the one I want to launch. I want to launch a sushi wrap because I hear it stays up better, right?
Well, it goes higher because it's bigger. It's 3 foot by 7 foot,
Yeah.
7.5 feet, and it's about the size of a large leaf bag. But it's made out of that special sushi wrap, which is designed to keep raw fish fresh, keep the air out of it. But as a result, it'll keep hydrogen or helium inside for
So
months, if not
to be
years.
successful, we really got to avoid storms because you and I were talking. If it rains on this balloon, it's going to come down, I guess, probably.
Yeah.
So what's the altitude we need to be above? To get above storms, where you need to be in a 40,000, maybe?
Above 40,000 feet, and this will float around 43,000 feet.
Okay, that's where we want to be, right there.
The first one I flew of these balloons stayed up almost 3 months and went around the world 6.5 times. I can tell you where it is. It's in the jungle near the shore of the Ivory Coast of Africa. If you want to go out and get it. But it hit a big storm near the equator. When you get near the equator, there's actually a flight path that my balloon took after, and you can see where it hit Africa. It hit that big storm.
Yep.
And that storm was up around 50,000 feet. But as long as you stay away from the equator, you're pretty safe at 43,000
Well,
feet.
I guess that we don't really have any ability to steer it, so it's going to go where it wants to go, right?
Well, remarkably enough, if you look at that map, it can go all over the place, over the Atlantic and over the Pacific, but over China and Japan, all 6 tracks track within 50 miles of each other.
That's
It was
interesting.
just the weirdest thing.
That's interesting.
And that brings up one more point. There are certain areas in the world. Now that slide back there,
Where,
that's
Roger?
a UC San Diego. No, those are students at a middle school in Baxter, Minnesota. They went around the world 1.5 times with theirs. And these UC San Diego students, they went around the world 6 times in 3 months.
Now,
Never running APRF.
I think you were fixing to hit on this, and I'm a little worried. You know, when I first talked to you, I was worried that we'd get sucked into an airplane engine, and they'd come to me, and I wouldn't have enough insurance to cover it. But then I found out there's some countries where you cannot transmit, and we're going to have a transmitter on here. You cannot transmit over certain countries.
I'm going to let you guess which countries.
Well, I already know it. Let's see if anybody in the
North
chat room.
Korea.
Yeah, Korea.
North Korea is one. We don't want to start World War III.
That's right. So if we transmit over North Korea, we're in trouble.
Yes.
You think they
And
might?
Yemen's
You think they
another
might try to shoot it down? Send their jets up and try to shoot it down? I doubt they could catch it. But okay. So you got North Korea, you got Yemen.
Yemen, and there's one other that's one of the biggies that you can't transmit over. There are a few other places, but the 3 biggest ones are North Korea, Yemen, and
The UK.
Britain or something.
The UK, right?
They have a law that you can't run amateur radio or airborne vehicles of any sort.
Well,
Radio control planes, kites, hot air balloons, planes.
So if we did, let's just say, and I know that you've designed some software and you program this where when it gets over those countries, it doesn't transmit for that reason, right?
If you scan to that slide that has the yellow box around Great Britain,
Oh, let's see.
it's up near the top.
Is it toward the top?
Yeah. There's a yellow box around Great Britain. All right, you're getting close. Anyways, what I do is I draw there it is.
There it
I
is.
have to draw a box around Great Britain. It's called geofencing.
Uh-huh.
And when my GPS detects that it's within that box, it kills the transmitter. It says don't transmit. And so I have a similar box around Yemen and North Korea and Syria, those places that you don't want to be transmitting.
So what
over.
are they going to, Bill, what are they going to do to us? Let's say your software malfunctioned and we transmitted over England. What are they going to do to us?
Probably not too much over the Great Britain, but over North Korea, it could really start some real issues.
Yeah.
So you really don't want to do that.
I spent a year in Korea in the Air Force, and those guys are always looking for stuff like it.
Now, there's another screen here that you can show of all the APRS frequencies around the world, because when I'm dealing with APRS, there's one thing, not everybody uses 144.39.
I'm on the wrong deal here? Do I need to go back to your
you're back on.
Do I need to go back to your presentation?
Yeah, go back to the presentation for a second, and there's a map there very close to that. I think it's the other, maybe right above that. Keep going.
There it is. There it is.
There, that is. See, the red area of North America is 144.39. But even then, Costa Rica and a few other, Venezuela, they're on different frequencies. So all the green area is 144.800, although I doubt seriously if there's a lot of APRS country coverage in North Africa. But and then China 144.64, South Korea 144.62.
So your
and
software
144.66.
So your software knows where this thing is, and it switches the frequency to be on the proper frequency over that country.
That's correct. I have to make it switch when it's over those different colored areas.
Well, I know a lot of things have developed over the years, and your idea about training a cricket to do it while in flight, I know that didn't work out very well. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was going to originally have a whistle that you could hear as it flew around.
Yeah.
But no, that's the things you have to worry about when you develop the software and the hardware for these kind of things for around the world flight.
Hey, I got one more picture I want to throw up here. It's a beautiful picture. Let me bring it up, and we'll talk about it just very quickly. Boy, you got a lot of neat stuff here. Okay, I'm gonna bring this up right here. Find the right button again. There we go. All right.
Wow.
53,000 feet, and you took a picture of it. Look at this, guys. Now, I asked him, I said, was that the SR-71 that did this? And he said, what? No, it cost probably a few $1 million to fly that Blackbird up here to take the picture. So how do you do this?
Well, if the government had tried to do this on purpose, it probably would have cost them several $1 million and cost overruns. We have an event every year called the Great Plains Super Launch, and we have all the balloon groups from around the country and the world show up to this conference to exchange the latest and greatest in tracking systems, video systems, and balloon technology. And so anybody's welcome to come, and it's a great place to learn about high altitude ballooning. This year's is going to be in middle of June in Pella, Iowa. And they always throw a great conference there in Pella. So this one was over St. Louis. We had a conference there, and we flew 10 weather balloons all at once, all of them carrying cameras of some sort. 2 of the balloons had the exact same ascent rate and stayed. In fact, they got tangled with each other in the first 1,000 feet, and then they unraveled, and they stayed 200 feet apart throughout the entire flight. And this is one of the best photographs. One of my friend's photographs took a picture of my balloon from 200 feet away while 10 miles above the Earth at 53,000 feet. Now, the neat thing about that picture, you can see that blue haze is the Earth's atmosphere, and the blackness of space is showing up just above it. You start to see the blackness of space above about 45 or 50,000 feet. And then when you get up about 90,000 feet, that's a very thin blue layer, and you're above 99% of the Earth's atmosphere.
Wow. Amazing. Hey, guys, the other guys in the show with us, Josh, Katie, what are y'all thinking, man? Isn't this neat?
I have so many questions.
Hey, and I've already got a chance to talk to him a couple hours, and boy, did I ask a bunch of questions.
Yeah. Well, so first, I mean, it sounds like you maybe sell these little payloads where can you find them?
I do. They're called the Sky Tracker.
Okay.
And I sell them ready to fly with the solar panels attached and everything. And the HF version on Whisper, I actually supply the HF dipole, which weighs 3 grams for a dipole antenna. It's made out of 36 gauge magnet wire taped to, I use Kapton tape, but I tape it to fishing line. And that is actually the support mechanism and also holds the antenna up. and then I drop the magnet wire down from the payload, so it's fed in the center.
Okay.
And we had one flight on Whisper. It was over the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and it was received in Perth, Australia, on the opposite side of the world with 20 milliwatts.
So where
now,
are they at? Where do you buy them? Where's your website?
Oh yeah,
Point me in the right direction.
Josh is like, I want to get. Let me take my money. Take my money.
You can email me at Whiskey Bravo 8 Echo Lima Kilo at gmail.com. And I do have a Wix site that shows some particulars about it. There you go. See if you can see that. So basically that at gmail.com. And also I have a website, wb80lk.com as well. But I need to update it. So a lot of schools have been flying them. They're a great STEM project, easy to fly. You don't have to carry a 200-pound tank of helium into the school. And a lot of schools have issues with carrying a pressurized tank of helium into the school or near it. So one of these little party balloon tanks is a much easier sell to the administration. And then just a little, you basically attach the payload and let it go. You don't have to plug batteries in or make sure it's working. If the sun's out, it's going to transmit. So, but that's the drawback. It's daytime only. But pick a nice day and away you go.
Yeah, so you go with the solar panel only, I'm assuming, to cut down on the weight, right? That's what gets the weight down, no batteries?
The lightest lithium polymer battery I could find was 4 grams, which makes it a significant portion of the 12-gram final weight. But I found a supercapacitor on the back. That is a half farad capacitor, not microfarad, not picofarad, farad. Mm-hmm. And it weighs 0.8 grams. So I had to search high and low to find one that weighed as light as that.
And hey, Josh, one of the other things that I learned here, didn't think about it, but as Bill was telling us, those lithium batteries don't function very well when it gets up to like 30 below zero.
And in order to make this as light as possible, I had to, the solar panels are, I have a brass tubing, this stuff right here, and not any hobby tubing will work because at the local hobby store, this stuff weighs 3 grams. I found a place called Albion Metals that sell these, and they're 0.8 grams, and they're still pretty sturdy. And this is the ground return as well as the support for the solar panels. So, so I had to do a lot of things to keep the weight down because 12 grams is not a lot of weight. To have a complete GPS, APRS tracker all in one, you know, that's tough to do at 12 grams. And my first few that I built were over an ounce. They're like 20 or 30 grams. And I found a U-Blox. U-Blox makes this really tiny a GPS receiver. And the chip antenna actually works very well. And the circuit board is ultra thin. It's 1/3 the normal thickness of a PC board. I found a place in China that will produce them quite without any extra charge.
So, Bill, on your Sky Tracker, is there any place do you put an email address or a phone number or something on it?
You can do that in the comment field on the APRS string. You can add a message.
But no, I meant if someone finds it, you know.
Oh.
Like if it went down in India, could they email you?
I have a backup recovery system.
An email address.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's what I was wondering. Yeah.
It's still backwards.
yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
I've actually got a few back that way that came down in different sites around the world. Mostly if I had a balloon failure when I was doing test balloons. One one landed in a tree in Chattanooga, and the moonlight was reflecting off of the silver foil balloon. And this guy was very scared. He thought the UFO was in his tree. And so the next morning he found it, and he laughed because it was a party balloon. And I got that one back. Another one landed in Charlotte, North Carolina, about 400 miles away. And this fellow installs solar cells for a living. And he said, "What is one of my solar panels doing out in the backyard?" And he walked out, and it was my Sky Tracker laying in his yard.
So you mentioned the sushi wrap. That was intriguing. So you're probably not just going out and buying a balloon out of sushi wrap. So is this like a custom job? How do you make those things? Where's that come from?
Ron, K6RPT, and his son Lee have a company called scientificballoonsolutions.com, and their model SBS13. In fact, if you have that PowerPoint slide, you can see what one looks like when it gets launched. But they sell them from San Jose, and
now the
and they take
difference,
about
my
4
understanding, the difference here,
Yes.
if you want to go party balloon, you're talking $4 for the balloon. If you want to go with the sushi wrap, you're talking probably another 150. Is that right?
About 129
Okay.
plus postage.
So it's quite a bit more, but hopefully you get more mileage out of it.
Well,
Well,
it stays
it-
up longer, right?
Yes, and it's comparable to the price of a large weather balloon, and that's a one-time use only. So you get a couple hours off of a balloon that goes up and down, and they cost about $150 as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you
Well, so
have your very own low Earth orbiting satellite, a ham radio satellite, only you're floating around in the upper regions of the jet stream.
So
And the jet
sounds-
stream, I've had one go 200 miles an hour in the jet stream.
Wow. Wow.
Nice.
So I get the idea that the sushi wrap balloon travels higher, right? And then that also
It's
kind
above
of
the
helps
storm.
keep it alive.
Yeah,
Well, it gets
stays
above the storms.
above, a lot more storm systems that way.
Okay. I'm
Now, I
fascinated.
wanted
by
to
this
mention
thing.
what I did with the Whisper payload. There's only very limited telemetry you can send on a Whisper payload. That's the drawback. The
Right.
advantage is there's a distributed network of receive stations all over the world that
Right.
send their data to one particular site, which Tom showed earlier, whispernet.org. Well, just like APRS sends to a dedicated Google map, and you can watch it. However, the standard Whisper is only a 4-digit grid square, which is a very large box, like 100 by 200 miles. So what you want is at least a 6-digit grid square. So what I do is I send a second transmission right after the first transmission with my call sign, and the call sign begins with a Q or a 0, which is not a valid ITU call sign. And I embed the telemetry in that call sign and the power field. So I use the power field and that call sign to embed solar panel voltage, temperature, the 5th and 6th grid squares, and the altitude. And then I I have a Python program I wrote that grabs the data from WhisperNet's database, decodes the telemetry, reconverts it to an APRS format, and sends it directly to the APRS server. And that way it shows up like an APRS object on all the APRS tracking sites. And actually, Tom, if you have that, there's 2 tracking sites that are used a lot for balloons. Everybody who runs APRS knows about APRS.FI. But there's one dedicated to high altitude balloons, whether they be a pico balloon or a monster balloon, or a big one.
Is this it?
There it is. It's tracker.hub.org. It's the people in the United Kingdom have operate this UK High Altitude Society have developed this tracker, and it will show you all the balloons in the world that are currently flying.
What's the website again?
Tom, it's near the top, but it's tracker.habhub, Hotel Alpha Bravo, Hotel United Bravo.org. stands for High Altitude Balloon Hub.
So let me we got a we got an international viewer here with a question, an OZ2. Where is OZ? I'm not familiar with OZ. Is that
Denmark.
Denmark? Yeah. Okay. We got a question from Denmark, and his question was, let me scroll back to it. Was I know it won't change the legality, but would it be feasible to use APRS-enabled satellites, or would that be too power hungry? Are there APRS satellites you can work through?
There are, but the power level you would have to generate on the ground to be received by the satellite is more than I can afford to do a solar-powered transmitter. You probably need to be 1 watt to 5 watts to uplink to an APRS satellite,
okay.
And I'm running 25 milliwatts. So
now we talked briefly.
I thought about that long and hard.
We talked briefly about when we were, we're talking about launching one for the show here, and you got a couple options. You've got the APRS option, which you're probably not going to see it over the ocean, and you're not going to see it, I guess, during the night when the battery's not charged. Or we can go Whisper, and
I was going to ask if there was a dual band option.
Yeah.
At the moment, I don't have a dual band version, but I am working on one. But right now it's an either or.
Okay.
But Whisper has the advantage in that it can be received every day.
You're breaking up just a little bit, Bill. Just a second. So you were talking about the advantage.
In the world.
His pickup feed is through a balloon he's got above his house. That's where he gets the internet. So you gotta hang on.
Yeah.
Hold on. It'll kick in.
Wait for the satellite to come back around.
Yeah. So Bill, are you hearing me okay? You kind of froze up on us. We're talking about.
Uh-oh.
We're talking about he's on DSL there.
Yes.
And can you hear us now?
Yes, I am.
Okay. There you go. Now you're moving again, and we can hear you.
There you go.
I think.
Yeah.
I think. Well, he froze again.
Yeah, it looks like its connection's kind of lagging behind.
Yeah, it'll clear up here in a minute. So, isn't this fascinating? My plans would be.
I can hear you.
Oh,
I think he said he can hear us.
He's obviously got a delay going on too.
Yeah. What my plans are is with Bill. We're going to try to launch one here in about 3 or 4 weeks. You got to, you have problems with the weather. March is pretty bad, windy. You got to be very careful when you launch these things. But we hope to launch one, for the show sometime toward the end of this month. End of February. And I may just add a web page to our website with the tracking and everything in it, and locations in it and everything, and we'll try to track it during the show every Tuesday night. When we have a show, we'll give an update where it is. So, Bill, you're still frozen. Are you hearing us?
Uh-oh.
Okay, I'm not hearing.
The elevation got too high. It's too cold up there.
Bill, if you can. If you can, click on your camera, turn your camera off, and we'll probably be able to hear you. Let's try that for a second.
It'll save some bandwidth, yeah.
Yeah, if you
Turn it
will.
off, turn it back on again. Have you tried turning it off and on again?
Yeah.
It's on the same frequency.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by the concept. I love the idea of putting something up, even for just a couple of months, having it go around the Earth a couple of times.
Can you hear me now?
Awesome.
Totally.
Yeah, we hear you now.
Yeah.
Now, turn your camera back on. Let's see if you come back on.
Okay. Well, the microwave was on, and I think that wiped out the. That might have degraded my Wi-Fi.
Okay, we're hearing you now. So here we are trying to plan a launch, but now I'm kind of undecided. Do we want to go Whisper? Do we want to go APRS? What difference, how much trouble is it to go one or the other? What major differences are there?
Well,
range, right?
the main difference is it's a lot harder to launch a balloon with a 34-foot long antenna
Right.
versus an APRS that's just
19
has
inches, 17 inches.
19
Yeah.
inches on the side, 20 inches on the side. So it's real easy to launch the APRS, but you have to have extremely low comm conditions to launch the HF one. That's the main difference. Once you get it off in the air, then it works great.
Okay, so if the wind is still, I can understand how you got to get that 30-something feet of wire up in the air, and you don't want it tangling across power lines and trees and stuff and buildings. So once you get it up in the air and it gets some altitude, basically they're the same, right? I mean, they're going to fly the same pretty much.
Yeah.
What's
That's
the
right.
advantage of one over the
Now
other?
that's
Like
gonna
if you're tracked from a tracking point of
the
view.
Whisper is going to add a little bit more weight to it. Can you compensate that with a little bit more hydrogen?
No, the volume is fixed on the balloon, but the difference in altitude, you add another 3 grams for the Whisper for the weight of the antenna. So, but the advantage is, even though in the middle of the Atlantic or the middle of the Pacific, you're going to still get readings where if you're running APRS, you're not going to be received by anybody unless you happen to get close to the Azores or you get close to, Hawaii. So, but APRS is pretty good coverage worldwide now. There's a lot of coverage in some parts of Russia even, and I've got some friends in New Delhi, India. I've got them fired up to track balloons, and they're putting on eye gates. And in New Delhi, they've actually received and relayed some of the balloons that fly over their region. So you just kind of have to stir the pot a little bit in those areas that don't have an APRS coverage. And now they're tracking each other around New Delhi and they're having a great time with it.
All right,
I've got the video back on. Is that working again?
No camera yet. So let me
There was a couple
ask
questions in chat.
Let me ask you, Bill. So now I'm kind of undecided, man. For the most pleasure, the best, experience. How should we go? Should we go APRS or should we go Whisper?
It depends on the weather. If it's a nice calm day, I'll go.
Well, and that weather would be on launch day. That weather would be launch day, so I guess we could always delay a day or two in the launch, right? Okay.
So, what?
Bill, you're really breaking up really bad, so we're really not getting your audio. I don't know if it's going to clear up. Sometimes, sometimes we can reconnect and it clears up. Should we try a reconnect with him?
Yeah, I can fill some space because they're talking in the chat.
Yeah.
One of the questions I
Bill?
wanted to get to was, what's the turnkey cost of some of this? And I think you mentioned the balloon is $4 for the Mylar party balloon, and then upwards of $150 for the sushi wrap balloon. But I was curious what the payload costs were, the differences between the payload. So I'd like to find that out.
I think it's like the tracker's $149, the sushi wrap balloon is $129, and the party balloon is about $3 to $4 if you go that route. So you're looking at maybe $300, if you want to go, I guess, with the sushi balloon or what do you call it, the SBS 13.
It seems like a cheaper option than when you have those full-size balloons that a lot of clubs or school groups will do when you have those super large balloons. Like you said, that only lasts for one shot, and they goes up in the air and it's out for a few hours. They grab their data and off they go. And I'm just still kind of blown away the fact that this little balloon has spent so much time circulating the Earth and it just stays up there. It seems like the balloon goes up and you're expecting it to either explode when it hits a certain temperature or hits a tree or a bird runs into it or something. To me, it's just a bit mind blowing that this can get
Well,
up there and do what it does.
I'm not
I
sure.
think-
I'm not sure I understood exactly. I heard him say what you said, but once this sushi wrap balloon starts heading around the world, I still kind of think that's a one-time deal. You're not going to get it back.
Well, yeah, but it's going to take a little longer to get all the way around the world than if goes up in New Mexico,
Yeah.
in Albuquerque, and comes down 30
well,
miles away.
The numbers, just to repeat the numbers that I heard, the sushi balloon can stay aloft for about a year, largely because it doesn't leak out the helium, and the Mylar balloons can stay up for about 3 months, and that allows possibly 3 or more cyclings of the Earth, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, we got Bill
so
back.
The difference, sushi balloon is 10,000 feet higher, so that you possibly can stay out of the rain and the storms. That's the point. Yeah. I think it would just be cool to be able to set something up like that and be able to track it. Your call sign travels the world kind of thing, which is super awesome.
Totally.
I have to, Bill's back. I have to ask a very important question. I need an FT8 balloon that can auto upload to Logbook of the World. Once we have that, then I'm on board. Tell me how much I need to throw at you, and we'll make it happen.
Worked all entities in the matter of a month.
All right, let's see what happens. Let's see, Bill. Bill, are you here? I don't see Bill here. Let me see if there's a way.
I can totally see the viewers and members of the different groups all pulling together and throwing a few. If you got a bunch of people that even threw $5 towards it, I mean, we could pull together enough money to do that in no time at all.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm getting an idea. We should all get our own balloons and then race.
Well, he has what they do races. They do races like this.
I already emailed it, so I already emailed.
I did too. I did too.
A minute ago. I already emailed him and said, "Okay, tell me how to get one."
I think we're gonna have a balloon challenge. Who can stay the longest?
I gotta stop being on this live feed because I always buy crap.
I'll spend your
I'm
money.
trying to get Jason. There he is. I was having trouble getting him in here.
Jason's gonna get cut off for being on the show.
So, hey guys, let's see if we can figure out how to get Bill back. I would hang up on him, but I'm not sure how to hang up on him. I can remove him from the call. Josh, you're our new Skype expert.
I would assume reboot basically and throw all microwaves out the window.
Look, I can do that. Hey,
you might have to reboot.
He looks like he's gone. He looks like he's gone. So I'm gonna remove him.
Back up.
I'm gonna remove him from the call, and then I'm gonna call him back. Here we go.
Yeah, send him a message or something and have him shut Skype down and bring it back up.
He's gone.
He may need to reboot though.
He's gone. Let's see if I can add him back. Here we go.
All my private information.
Yeah, here we go. We'll see what happens.
We need the song from Skype when it calls.
Is Chip still around, or did Chip leave us?
No, he logged off. They probably had to go get some supper.
Hey, Bill, are you there, Bill? I see his picture popped up there. Hello, Bill.
Maybe.
He's moving his mouse around.
Is he? No, that's me.
Oh, that's you.
That's
okay.
me. Okay. Well, Bill does have a Verizon jetpack or hotspot. He can get on. Oh, there he is. Bill.
Yay! He's back.
Are you? Did you get on Verizon, or are you still on the DSL? Bill.
Are you muted?
We're not hearing Bill. We can't hear Bill.
You might need to unmute.
You know what? I can mute people on this Skype. I've got a mute function here. I didn't realize before. Didn't have that before.
Watch out, Josh.
Bill, can you hear us,
bye,
Bill?
guys.
Bill, can you hear us? Let me talk with Bill here real quick. I'll have to do it this way. Bill.
Oh no, I probably shouldn't do that. I forgot which movie that's from, but kind of offensive. My apologies.
All right, we're getting back. We're getting back. We're not, I'm not in any hurry to get off here tonight. This is really interesting.
I want to. Yeah. Well, you said the cost of the transmitter for his Sky Tracker, what, 145? You said, was that correct?
Yeah, the Sky Tracker is 149, and your balloon's $3 to $4. Of course, there's a little bit of helium or whatever that you probably. I think you mentioned that could be $5 or $10 at the most, But if you want the SBS balloon, that's
Right.
the sushi wrapper. That's another
Right.
$149.
This is
I
quickly
think
turning into
we're
the
going to go with the
equivalent of, like,
sushi
when I was in
balloon.
Boy
I think we're going to go with
Scouts.
the sushi wrapper here, and
Yeah.
I think we ought to go with Whisper, so we can see what the sucker is, and it'll probably fall the first 30 minutes.
So, I mean, to me, when I was in Boy Scouts, they used to have that Pinewood Derby, and it was in a competition
yeah.
who could make the fastest thing.
Yeah.
This is quickly turning into that for me. I'm like, how do I make the most successful balloon? I'm thinking high speed, low drag. So I want to go APRS versus the Whisper, even though I like the more range. It's lighter. I want the sushi balloon.
I'm worried about the extra 3 grams, man. I kind of want to go. I kind of want to go Whisper, but it's going to be 3 grams more.
I'm also thinking
Just
I
means
gotta
you're
go
going to be
big.
slower than the rest of us, Tom.
Well,
Gee.
now it's like, why not go hydrogen?
Well, he says you can't. It's some type of balance deal. They got this figured out. I wondered why you couldn't squirt a little more hydrogen in there. I don't know.
Well, not more. So I think these are he's talking about helium.
Well,
balloons,
he
but
told
if
me either. He told me either helium or hydrogen. In fact, he said the hydrogen will last longer. It will leak out
Right.
slower. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I want the longest run time. I
Yeah.
want hydrogen, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Let me see if I can add him here again. Well, it still shows him here. Okay, Bill. Bill, hello, Bill. Okay, I tell you what, I'm going to take him off the call again.
You might need to shut down Skype. If somebody can message him, tell him to shut down Skype and restart it. If not, he's got to restart the computer.
All right, so, well, I'd have to hire an extra person to do that, so let me see if I can just add him back again. I'm gonna.
Jason's
okay.
buying it right
It
now.
shows
I can
it shows him
I can see
online.
him
It
looking
shows him
down his phone. He's
online.
buying.
No. I
He's
emailed
looking at his credit card.
It shows him online. He's green, so that's a good sign. Let's see if he comes in here. I'm getting used to the new Skype. I'm starting to like it.
Well,
Bill. Oh man.
no.
I wanted to ask if it's better to launch at like higher altitude, if you can get yourself physically.
Well, yeah,
No,
you would clear all the trees and the power lines and stuff. If you got a wind
I'm
blowing.
thinking, I'll just hike this out in my soda activation.
There you
Oh,
go.
but it's a helium tank, but the helium tank's the problem.
Yeah.
Of a challenge.
Hey, Josh, at one field day, we took some helium over. I was going to put up 1,000-foot wire on top. We were on top of a mountain near a lake, and we had this. I had this wire wrap wire, this really small wire, and we put a big balloon out there, and we tied basically party balloons every 50 feet, to lift it. And
sure.
it went out straight horizontal across the lake. It never went up. So that was a failure. And the rest of the field day, everybody just breathed the helium. All right,
Oh, get on the air with
helium and more
helium.
contacts.
That'd be awesome.
Bill.
We've done that at field day before.
Bill?
Oh, I gotta remember
Okay.
that. I wonder where I can get a helium tank before Saturday.
Hey guys, I don't know if he can see it. It says Bill Brown left. I don't. There's supposed to be, your chat in Skype. I don't know how to work it, but.
Oh.
All right. Okay. He left, so maybe he's restarting.
Maybe he's restarting. Hopefully.
Well, I think we had a pretty good run already with the presentation. We learned a lot, and we're going to have him back again. And hopefully we'll get him to come in and give us like weekly updates. Although I'll embed the tracking on our website when we launch this thing.
That'll be fun.
Let me add him. It shows him green online.
Yeah, I'm
I launched a military balloon in high school 50 years ago, and with hydrogen. It was about 6 foot. We put a little postcard and a little bottle under it. Nobody ever sent it back. I haven't seen it 50 years.
It might still show
And you know
up.
what? And it's still got, and that sucker's got a 2-cent stamp on it.
Yeah. We did the last couple of years when we've actually a few years now down in Albuquerque, New Mexico, when we've had our conventions down there. The Edge of Space Science group has always done a presentation on their balloon launches, and Bill Ripley, who's usually the chairman for the Duke City Hamfest, his wife is a teacher and in the STEM school there, and they bring in a whole bunch of the kids, and they always have a balloon launch that weekend, and then they come to a breakfast the next morning, and it seems like at least a couple times that I've been there, and there's a drawing, for a new radio. One of the kids gets a radio, so we have, there's only usually a couple of hams, but by the time the weekend's over, the kids are ready to sign up and become hams that day. And there's been more than once that I've been at a breakfast where someone has won a radio and then walked over to the kids and gave it to the ham in the group. It's really kind of neat, but it's been a lot of fun to see how they do all of that and see the presentations. And this is a little bit, quite a bit different. And like you guys said, I'm ready to figure this out and try to do one. It looks a lot of fun, especially in the summertime. If we can go up to the top of Warren Peak where we live on the mountain, that's about 6,900 feet elevation. That's where we look down on Devil's Tower. So it's a great spot. That would be a nice starting, nice starting point for our balloon. I think we'd kick somebody's butt, Josh.
Well, he's not even showing online now, so he may be booting. Who knows what he's doing? I just sent it. I put in the chat room. If he dials the phone number, we can patch him in on the phone. Didn't think about that earlier.
Okay, what's this, Katie? What did you just say? You're kicking
Oh,
my
I don't
butt
know.
away.
I forgot now. That was like 2 minutes ago, Josh.
I'm just about. I'm gonna have to sign off here in a minute, Tom.
Okay, yeah, no problem, Jason. Hey, thanks for joining us,
we
man.
should be about wrapping this sucker up anyway.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. It's probably into show time anyway. I'll touch base with Bill afterwards, and we'll have a follow up. And again, guys, what we're doing, we're talking about launching here. Maybe
It'll be
in a month.
interesting to see where that goes.
Yeah. You never know. Okay. All right. Well,
All right,
hey, Jason,
like
good night, man, and thanks a lot for coming on, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Enjoyed it.
Have a good trip out to Hollywood, to Last Man Standing. Hey,
Yeah.
do me a favor. Go up
Take
the
lots of
staircase. Go up the staircase, where the bedrooms are upstairs, and I want you to check that out, man. But after you make a turn, don't step too far.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, man.
I'll look for that.
All right.
I'll look for that. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right. Have fun. Take care.
All right.
Thanks,
All right.
Jason.
Bye.
We'll see you. Bye. All right. Well, I'm going to try one last time. One last time. He's just not showing up.
I think we're losing the chat room too.
Yeah. Okay.
How
Well,
many-
guys,
you still got
I think we had a
70
good time tonight.
Really?
I think we had a good show. We covered a lot
Oh,
of
okay, good.
things.
I wasn't looking at the numbers. I just saw a few people saying 7-3.
Well,
No,
wait a minute.
no,
You know
we're-
what?
That's Jason leaving. We
Oh,
don't.
Joe.
You know what? Let me.
Our
Hey,
friend
I'll be
Joe
right
at
back.
Fargo
You guys
is
keep the
watching
show
on
going. I'll be right
85
back.
inch screen. Good grief, Joe. Joe Griggs watching. Dwayne's nodding in the back.
Well, we had somebody. Who was it? We had Mike Baxter, the Facebook group, join the Ham Radio Crash Course today, and I was trying to send him a message.
Oh,
I haven't heard
good.
back yet, so we'll see where that goes. I'm not that far from Studio City, so
I bet you could get an invite from John. Could just go over there for a viewing.
I
They
can
still
just
are
show up.
taping
I
if you
mean, it's
want.
right down the street.
Well, yeah, you can actually, but if John knows you're coming, he'll take care of you.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Works this time.
Oh.
He sounded like Daleks from Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did that last a couple shows ago. We had a Dialects on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Who did that go? There he is.
I think it's
yeah, I
his
can
turn that we
can
hear.
you- Okay, we had to resort to the good old-fashioned landline here, cell phones. My Skype decided to update in the middle of the show to
Oh,
the
yeah.
version, and I had to reboot the computer and all that kind of fun stuff. You'd think by 2019 that all you'd have to do is computer, activate Skype, and all would be happy.
That would be awesome.
So, anyways,
Did we lose Tom?
I don't know. I don't see him.
I don't either. Tom? Well, he's running us. I don't know how we could lose him.
But you
he's
started.
moving the mouse. I can see it.
You know what a
Well-
Dalek is from Doctor Who?
Oh yeah,
That's-
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Exterminate. What? That's what you all sounded like. Yeah, that's what you all sounded like when Skype started messing up.
Every now and then during the workday when Chip and I are talking on Skype, I'll call him and it just goes, it sounds like squirrels. And he'll look
That's
at me and I'm like, all I'd say hear from him, I'm like, I just wave at him and I hang up and call him back. He's like, were there squirrels on the line again? I'm like, yep, I couldn't hear anything.
Well, I turned Skype off and then rebooted Skype, and then it decided to spend a few minutes updating to the new version.
Mine did that just before the show started. Well, I don't know if you heard it during the update, we had a whole big discussion that this sounds like so much fun, and Josh is ready to start a new competition. We all want to get a balloon, and we could come up with some kind of race amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
We're actually doing one at the Dayton Hamvention. We're doing
really?
a 3 pico balloon race on Friday at the Hamvention.
Well, I'll be there.
And if more people want to participate, we can bring more.
Oh well,
Very-
is Tom's definitely going to Hamvention? Is he a part of the
Yeah.
race?
I haven't talked to him about that, but I think we should do it.
We should
There you
just do
go.
that release them all. Hope weather permitting, release
No,
them
Yeah.
all.
The first race we did a race a year ago, and the stipulation was you had to be a teenager or younger. And one of my friends was born on a leap year, even though he's 40 something now, but in physical age, he was 14 in actual birthday. So
there you
we
go.
let him come on. But this time, I don't think there's any stipulation. So the Hamvention wants to do it. They're really behind it. So I think we should definitely have a race.
Well, hey guys, I'm sorry.
that
I
sounds
was yelling at you guys a while ago, and my mic was
Oh.
turned off. You know, the guy in Norway or Denmark told me I think my mic was off. So it's good to have people all around the world helping us here. You know?
Well, we don't see you, Tom.
You don't see me?
No.
Well, I
We
can.
thought you left us.
Let's see. Let me see how I can
And we
figure
went to
this
go
out.
get a cheeseburger or something and
Let me.
took off.
Well,
Yeah, I'll listen to it.
oh boy, what?
Where'd he go?
I'm not sure. I'll figure this out. I'll figure this out some other time.
Still there.
Hey, I did open the phone lines. I know it's getting late, and if anybody has to go, just good night and see me through. We've had a great time already, but I'm going to open the phone line up and see if we get 1 or 2 phone calls, and just see how it goes. So 901-286-1116. If you want to call, it'd be kind of cool getting a call from Denmark. Might be long distance.
Yeah, that would be some
Yeah.
international calling there.
All right. I think the phone lines are working. So, hey, Bill, I will be getting with you over the next few weeks, and we'll be talking about this. And hey, I'm thinking about going big, man. I'm thinking about going to Whisper, and I'm thinking about going hydrogen, and I'm thinking about going sushi, man.
Oh, here we go. Competition's heating up.
You know, so
Yeah. Well, I
mean-
think
I
we
just
should
keep
have a
thinking
race.
about dinner when you say sushi.
I mean, you know, if this sucker only flies, a third of the way across the ocean, I want to track it. I mean, I don't want, you're going to lose on APRS. So I don't know. We'll see.
Josh,
Well,
where are
guys,
you
I'm going to sign out for the evening. I've got to hit the road and get a few chores taken care of here before bedtime, which isn't too far away. So
All right.
thanks for Thanks for the fun night, everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
had fun.
take it easy.
Bill, I
Katie.
hope you come back on again soon to talk some more balloon stuff. This was a lot of fun and
Yeah, it's
learned
fantastic.
some new things. Very cool.
Okay, will do.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Good
It's
night.
been free.
Good night, Katie. We'll see you,
Bye.
Katie. All right. So Katie's gone.
Bill,
Bye bye.
Did you ask me where I'm from? I'm in Cerritos, Southern California.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know,
I went to school in UC Santa Barbara.
Okay. Yeah, I love Santa Barbara. Nice little beach city there.
We called it UC Surfing Branch.
Yeah. Very bike friendly. That's what I remember about that city. Lots of bikes.
Oh, yeah.
you know, I don't know if Josh should, out in California, that might not be a good place to launch a balloon. It'd probably hit the mountains. Josh, if I was you, I just wouldn't even try it.
Don't even try, right? Don't
Yeah,
even try.
yeah.
I can just go to my dad's house in Big Bear, or I can launch it from a soda summit.
Yeah.
Well, Josh, students from UC San Diego, I'm sorry, Mount Carmel High School in San Diego, they launched one, and it failed to achieve float, and it landed out near 29 Palms in the desert.
Oh.
And it was a whisper balloon, and it transmitted its position for 3 weeks. But it's a 6-digit grid square, so it was a 2 by 3 mile box in
Right.
the desert with a bunch of mesquite bushes. And so several expeditions went in to try and find it. Finally, my friend Mark Fisher, he lives out by Hesperia, W6MF, he drove a Jeep out there with an HF rig and just drove around until he got a really, really strong signal. And then he saw a balloon laying in the sand. And then he started to trace back the wire antenna, and much to his horror, the payload was sitting underneath his tire.
Oh no! So that was a done deal.
It stand, and it actually survived.
Oh,
It still
awesome!
worked.
That's great. Well, that's great. You can recover it. I assume that doesn't happen all the time, but it's pretty nice when it happens. I bet.
Right. Usually, you let them go, and it's going to end up somewhere on the other side of the world.
Assume it's gone, and if it comes back, that's a happy circumstance,
That's right.
but probably rare.
I'm looking for
what was the
questions. I know there were questions, but I was unable to read the chat room.
Well, somebody was talking about would there be any value of doing 2 balloons and then having them separated somehow with some kind of something in between, or would that even matter?
The way you do it with 2 balloons is to stack them on top of each other.
Oh.
With the Mylar balloons, and you get about another 2,000 to 3,000 feet altitude, but you have to be very accurate to match the lift on them.
Oh, right, because if one starts to lift over the other, you can have some problem.
And
That makes
3
sense.
doesn't really buy you anything, but 2 has been used successfully.
Well, if you were going to recommend, I mean, maybe this is a good question. If you were going to recommend somebody starting out wanted to do this, where would you tell them to start? Would you go APRS over Whisper? What kind of balloon would you recommend? What would you do?
I would start off with one of the silver foil balloons and APRS because they're really easy to launch.
Okay. And any advice? I'm assuming this is all helium. Any advice on where to get helium? Because I know that's getting harder.
I bought a little tank of hydrogen, a little 40 cubic foot tank that's actually easy to carry from a welding supply store. And it was only $20 or $30.
What about Walmart?
Really
what about like Walmart and these party stores? Can you get enough? Can you get enough in one of those little tanks?
You can actually fill up 3 balloons with one of those little tanks.
Yeah.
But the purity is 80%. So they've been cutting it with air over the past 2 years. 2 years ago, it was actually pretty good quality helium, but they decided to sell the public air. So now
why
they're
can't you
80%.
take that?
You fly about 3,000 feet lower.
I think
Do you recommend doing hydrogen?
Hey, here's a project.
Yes.
Here's a project for.
You just have to take, don't pet the cat and then touch the balloon or scuff your feet on the carpet. Don't fill it up indoors. Do it outside.
These are all good ideas. Yes.
But I would start out with helium.
Okay. You'd start out with helium.
Yeah.
Okay.
For a first flight till you get used to it.
And how do you know if you've got the balloon? Because, I mean, you need expansion space. So how do you know if you've got it filled correctly?
Well, I determined through dumping a lot of them in the Atlantic and across the Southeast that 3 grams of positive lift, that's, in other words, if your payload weighs 12 grams, you want 15 grams to be lifting at the neck of the balloon. So that's a net lift of 3 grams, which is just slightly more than the weight of 1 penny, because a penny weighs 2.5 grams and the nickel weighs 5. So I tape a nickel to the balloon and the tracker, and if it goes down, I know it's less than 5 grams. I tape a penny to it, and if it starts to go up, then I know I'm between those two.
Okay.
But
that's perfect.
I actually make up a little bag that I include with the kit that has the proper weight to it. You just clip it onto the balloon while you're inflating it, and when it floats neutrally, you have the exact lift that you need.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay.
I use quarters, dimes, and nickels.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Oh, well, I love it. That's okay. I mean, that was my follow-on questions. Is, what kind of tools do you use? You got some kind of meter or gauge? Nope, I use change, pocket change. That'll do it. That's awesome. I love that.
Actually, there is a very inexpensive scale that costs $10. AWS-100. It's a 100-gram scale. It's very accurate, and I use it to precisely measure lift. And you really need one of those if you're flying the Whisper balloon because it's more complicated. Amazon has them for like $10.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now, hey, let me ask a question. So.
Oh, okay. AWS scale.
AWS 100 is the one I use.
So does Whisper, does it have to compete? Does it have to have like a clear frequency
No, that's
to be received?
Whisper. You can have all kinds of stations just a few hertz apart because the Whisper signal is only about 6 hertz. And so there's a 200 hertz window, and so it decodes everything it sees in that, the software decodes everything it sees in that 200 hertz window of signals. So you can have dozens of signals there.
But you would think with thousands of people doing that you would get kind of overridden at times. I mean, does that happen?
It does happen when I'm running 20 milliwatts. It does happen because most people run about 5 watts or less, but a 5-watt signal is like a kilowatt in comparison to 20 milliwatts.
Oh, yeah.
But you'd be surprised because, once again, due to propagation, if somebody's getting clobbered in one part of the country, another receiver will hear you because they aren't hearing the strong signal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Hey, Tom, question for you. Is the phone number that you have on the line, is that open or is Bill on that line?
No, it's open, 286-1116.
Okay. Somebody tried to call and said there was no answer
Well,
after 10
maybe I didn't
rang.
see it. I've got it kind of where I don't hear it ring. I have to visually see it ring, and I may have missed it.
Okay, well, we're listening, callers, so if you call in,
we're
here.
listening. Give us a call. And we won't keep this much longer. Man, it's been a great show. A lot of great information, and we'll have a follow-up show, Bill, and as we get ready and launch, we'll talk more about this, and we'll answer questions out there.
I think we should do a show on how to deal with the latest Skype version.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to. Well, I don't know why we're really not getting any calls here. Usually we're bombarded with calls, but hopefully we've answered your questions. We've tried to follow the chat room.
Maybe we just answered all the questions and people are just so satisfied that.
Yep, okay. Well, look, I'll tell you what, we'll go ahead and end the show tonight, and because it's getting late, and Bill, I know you hadn't had your dinner yet, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So you need to go have your dinner. I don't know, whatever your wife brought in, I hope it's still warm, or maybe you can warm it up. So.
Okay. Well, you take care. It's been a pleasure. 73s and 88s to all.
Yeah, 73 to you, and good night.
Yeah,
and thanks so
73.
much. It was a great discussion tonight.
Oh, somebody asked if you're doing Hangouts, Tom, or is that no
Oh
tonight?
boy, this late, I don't think we're going to do Hangout.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to do Hangout. I'm going to do Hangout, so tell them yes, we'll do Hangout, and
Okay, there
maybe
you
for
go,
10
guys.
minutes, 15 minutes, and we'll get on Hangout, and we'll see what they have to say. All right, 73, Bill. See you.
All right.
I'll contact you.
Great.
All right, goodbye.
Yeah,
look
Bill.
forward-
Good to meet you.
Look forward to the great race.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see if I can get on here now. Okie dokie. All right, guys. Well, hey, had a good time tonight. I think 2 good segments and very interesting. I think both of them. So, we'll go ahead and we'll go to Hangout. We'll see you guys next week. We had a good turnout tonight on numbers. Actually, they were up pretty good tonight. Thanks everybody for joining. I don't know if there's any new people left. The numbers are starting to go down. We're down around 100 people in the chat room. That's probably, let's see. No, we're down to about 100 people on video right now. Of course, it's quite late. So I don't know if any of you guys are new or not to us. If you're new, tell us in the chat room, are you new? We'd love to hear from you. And I'm going to go ahead and, Josh, I'll hang you up, and I'm going to bring Hangout up.
All right.
All right, we'll see you.
Bye.
Good night.
Talk to you.
All right. Well, I think it turned out pretty good. That was very enjoyable. The Hangout is going to be, we've already put the link in the room there. Click on that link. We can take up to 10 people at a time. Well, it says I'm the only one here, so maybe no one else is here yet. The link is posted. Click on the Hangout link. Join us. Maybe it's so late everybody's already gone to bed. See if I can copy that link again. All right, we'll wait a few more minutes. Who knows, maybe I'm in the wrong Hangout, but I clicked on the, there we go. Well, Josh is here.
Yep.
Josh made it to Hangout, so that means it's working. You never know if you go to the right Hangout. Used to, we had trouble, people go to the wrong Hangout and wonder where everybody is, you know. Oh, we're getting a few people. We got Josh, we got Mike here, we got Nate. Is that Nate? Yeah. Hey, Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. You able to hear me okay on there?
Man, how's your weather up there? You got some snow?
Yeah, up to you know what. That's not bad.
Up to you know what?
Yes.
Well, you got.
We got snow.
Hey, Doug. Well, Mike, you got one of those motorized snow blowers. You ought to have fun outside.
Oh, I've used it quite a bit already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, down here we take a riding lawnmower and we just put a big old 60-inch TV screen box on the front of it, and we just push the stuff out of the way.
Yeah, it'll take a little bit more than that. We don't go into panic.
Well, what do you think about the balloon segment tonight? It's kind of interesting.
You know, I missed most of it.
Oh, did you?
I didn't get back home in time and stuff. By the time I said, "Oh, that's right, it's Tuesday night," so I'll have to watch it on your YouTube.
Yeah, tune in to replay. It's really interesting. We're going to launch a balloon, Amateur Radio Roundtable. We're going to launch one, and we're going to put a web page up so we can track it each week and probably have Bill on to talk about it. All right, how you doing, Nate? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
It's just my first time here, so I figured I'd say hey.
Okay, cool. So how did you hear about the show?
Actually on Discord.
Oh, are you? Okay.
I've been.
Well, you're starting to freeze a little bit there.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're not hearing Nate. Nate's, I think he said he found out about it through Discord. That's another chat room over there.
Yeah, speaking about hearing, I've been trying to get you on 7180 when you make your posting there, but a couple nights I just barely heard you, but didn't hear me.
Well, we were actually on 71, 79 tonight, but that should have been close enough you could have found us, you know.
No, I didn't. I wasn't on the radio tonight.
Oh, you weren't?
The other
Okay.
day, I think yesterday, the other day you were. I seen your Facebook posting.
Yeah, we had a good net tonight. We had about 30 or more people joined up. Had some good signals. Yeah, the net worked out pretty good tonight.
Yeah.
Let's see what's going on. Let's see, anyone? Memphis. Bill said he called and no answer in Memphis. I don't understand. Bill, I may have not seen you call, Bill. WZ1L. Call again. I'll watch for your call to come in. And back to Nate. Nate, hey, what do you got there, Doug? What do you got?
It's my Relcom mixer.
Oh, it's a mixer. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
What are you going to mix with that?
They're not seeing our pictures. Oh, okay.
You know.
Oh, wait. You know what? Let me get you guys on. There we go. Let me get you guys back on here.
Well, okay, we'll be here then.
There we go. Now I got you back on. I got you guys on the show now. Let's see. Let's see if I can.
Oh my goodness! Look at this handsome guy that's on here right now. Wow.
I gotta figure out how to get me on here. Let's see.
Good. Shove me all around.
Well, let's see. Let me see. Maybe I can move up top like this. Let's see. Maybe this will work like this. Let's see. Maybe this will work. All right. Now I'm in there. Oh,
Push me over here. Push me over there.
Yeah, I can move you, man. I can move you.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble moving me.
Yeah.
Let's see. There we go. Hit that. So, yeah, the net turned out pretty good. Had about 30 people tonight. There we go.
Josh.
Let's see, Josh. Let's see, Josh. I'm gonna try to use your green screen, Josh. I'm gonna see if I can put some on your green screen. Hang in there a second. Let's see. Let's see. Well, wait a minute. How do I got to do this? Let me see. I got to do this. I got to do okay.
Josh and I both have green screens.
Okay, yeah. Yours looks a little yellow. I don't know what's going on here. Let's see. Let me add.
It's a neon green.
Let me add something here. Media file.
All I got is a wall behind me.
Okay. All right, that ought to work right there. Let's see. Oh, let's see. Wait a minute. That's not going to work too good. Hang on. Let's see. What am I trying to do here? I need to do that. I need to move him down one. Yeah.
Now you scared him away. Look at
Yeah. Where is Josh? He's gone. Well, let's see if I can get Douglas on green screen here. I don't know if I can get him on here or not. Let's see. It's not doing too good. Let's see. Okay, here's what I got to do. Got to do that. Got to do that. Nope. I got to do that.
Sorry about that. The
There
dog
we
was
go.
crying. I had to get her some water.
All right. Well,
40 meters is popping right now.
is it? We had a good net tonight on 40. It was good. I had California to Florida coming in on 40 meters tonight. No, I can't for some reason. Let me, Josh, your screen. There you go. I see. I can make Josh's green screen work. See, I got him. I got the. Josh, lean over sideways, man. You got the. There you go. You got the. Eiffel Tower behind you now, see?
You
I
think
can't see what you're seeing.
Are you not,
Neither do we.
you're
Do
not
I need
seeing?
to watch it on the?
Oh, wait a minute. No, wait. I had to hit play. There we go.
There we go.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right, now see,
Hey, what's
okay,
up?
I need to do a little adjusting, but hey, I can put green screen on Josh now. Let me see if Douglas works. Douglas green
Probably
green screen was.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hey,
look,
what's
look,
up?
There it is.
His green
his
screen
is actually
works
way
pretty
clearer
good.
than mine.
This looks pretty good.
Yeah, his does really well.
Yeah, it's doing pretty good. Let's see, Skype.
Look at that. Josh took his hat off. Look at the hair. I don't know. Can you put some hair on top of his head?
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Add that.
Yeah, he CG'd this in. This isn't real.
Oh man, I think I'm trying to do too much here because my system's starting to get real slow.
I should probably put a hat on. It looks like it got a
Tonight, hey, you didn't hear the beginning of the show, but it was a hat night. Everybody had hats tonight. Everybody had hats.
Yeah.
Let's try that right there. Let's try
I think
that.
they were way to glare.
Let's try that. Oh,
That's
boy.
actually an official used in service Bobby hat from England.
Oh wow.
Ah,
All right, let's see what we got here.
It took me a long.
here, I was thinking that was CG Den.
I had a friend of mine from England that kept going back over and swap because I retired from law enforcement and I kept swapping badges and everything. Every time she went home to Braintree, England, I said, "Can you get me a Bobby hat?" And it's one that was the guy gave up. The officer gave up his service hat, traded it off. So they are very hard to come by.
Okay. All right, there we go, guys. Okay, Douglas, I got the set.
Yeah.
Oh, my system's about to crash on me. I had the background for Last Man Standing behind you. Yeah, there it is. Do you see it?
Uh-huh.
Do you see it?
We see the set, but not behind him.
What do you see? Oh, wait, you're not seeing him.
No.
Why are you not seeing him? Let me. Oh, I know why you're not seeing him. Hang on. I got to push another button here. Oh boy.
One little button.
My system looks like I'm getting the clock and everything's going blank on me, so I'm probably loading it here. Here we go. Okay, now there you should go. Why is it not? There it went again.
We lost that whole bar that I normally see above us.
Yeah, I got to move the. I don't know what I got to move. There we go. All right. There's the studio Last Man Standing behind you there, Doug. There, man, my system just went out again. Now it came back.
Don't move. Just don't move.
Yeah. That's the set that they built for us when we went out there. That replicates the Outdoors Man, store. They built that up in one of the corner of the studios there for us. Let's see how Josh looks on the. Let's see how he looks on it. There he is. Yeah, he's there. Okay. There he is. Well, a little work. We could make it work. We could make it work here. All right, so let me see if I can turn this off.
I think you got too much free time on your time.
I think I just killed you guys. I killed the wrong video. Oh, buddy. I killed the wrong video. Let me add Skype back in here. Add remote desktop. Okay, that'll get you back right there. Okay. There we go. Okay. I'll quit playing. So Nate said, man, my system just went out again. So Nate said he found us on Discord somehow. You must have. Did you post something over there or something, Josh? Or
What's that?
Nate says he found us. This was his first time. He said he found us through Discord.
Oh yeah, that's probably me.
Yeah.
He phoned
Hey,
it,
what's
but
up?
after being in hangout, he may not come back again.
That's it.
No, I was in the middle of a den meeting I had with some of my Cub Scouts. So when it popped up on my phone, and figured I'd log in once I got home.
Nice. But where did it? What, you're talking about the HRCC Discord?
Yeah.
Oh, right on. Cool. Cool.
Okay. Cool.
So I have it activated. Anytime you post something on there, it'll notify me.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Oh, that's great. See, I don't know how that. I don't know how that stuff works. You know, I mean.
Not like our first hangouts when we used to talk about our colonoscopies and everything.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Since Doc left, we used to have a doctor on here, guys, who would come on hang out with us, and we'd talk about all of our ailments, with Doc and hang out.
Yeah.
Oh boy! But he had to start getting up early and go to work, so we lost our doctor.
Yeah, speaking about getting up early, I see it's after 11 o'clock here, so.
Yeah. Well,
Call it a night. Maybe I'll have to get up and shovel snow in the morning. Get that snow blower on.
Well, what happens if you leave it?
Well, then I get stuck.
Oh. Okay.
I'm right a couple miles from the shore of Lake Superior, so I get a share of.
You get the lake effect. The lake effect is probably pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You panic for a couple inches down there. I mean, we get 6 inches. That's a dusting.
We talk about a couple inches.
We talk 18, 20 inches at a time.
We panic down here with a quarter of an inch.
Yeah. No, we don't worry about blizzards. You guys down there you get a hurricane or you get the tornadoes down there.
Yeah.
Down in Texas, they're evacuating everybody in Florida. They're driving out of the city. Evacuation, hurricanes coming in. We get a blizzard. What they tell us to do here: stay home, put an auto log in the fire, and make sure you got enough beer in the cooler, and we're all set. Yeah. But I'm gonna have to call it a night from up here in UP, Michigan. So.
All right.
Yeah,
it's late. I need to get off here too. I'm thinking about getting a peanut butter sandwich or something. I didn't have dinner tonight. It gets real busy now. I start the net up about 5:30, and that goes to maybe 6:30 or so, or sometimes later. And then I get ready for the show and in the show. So I kind of skip supper a few times, but that won't hurt me.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Good night, guys.
Good night, man. Good night. We'll see you. All right. Guys, I'm going to get out of here too. Go take it easy. I think we had a successful night tonight. Josh, thanks, man. I think you helped us advertise over on your channel. I think we brought some new people overnight. The numbers looked a lot higher tonight.
Yeah, I'll post something next time to the video. I'm trying to work something out.
Yeah, I mean that was cool, and I'm constantly trying to get the word out wherever I can. Mm-hmm. Facebook sometimes don't like me. They blocked me this week.
Right.
I posted. I think I posted like 8 posts about the show, and the next thing I know, I'm blocked till Wednesday night. They didn't like it, so that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. See you guys. Good. I'm going to say good night. Hey, you guys can stay on, hang out, and talk if you want to. Hangout's going to be up all night.
Yeah, I'm going to stick around for a little while. I got some stuff I got to do in the house. But if you guys got questions or anything or want to say something, go for it now.
All right. All right. We'll see you.
Take it easy. What am I looking at? What is that? Oh.